Right, and joining us to tell us how big this news is, former Trump senior economic advisor Stephen Moore. Stephen, great to have you with us here. Right out of the gate, 50 basis points. Is it good? Is it bad? And why?
Well, I'm sort of stunned, actually. I was predicting 25 basis points. I do think an inflation rate has come down, but as you guys were just talking about, we haven't conquered inflation. I wonder if any of these people on the Federal Reserve Board have been to the grocery store or the gas pump or paid a mortgage payment. And it disturbs me a little bit, quite frankly, because it feels like the Fed, which always talks about how it needs to be politically independent, is putting its thumb on the scale in this election. I mean, obviously, a 50 basis point reduction will be, at least in the short term, a stimulus to the economy. And, that will help the incumbent party, which is obviously Kamala Harris. So I'm tired of Jerome Powell saying how we're independent of politics, and then he does something like this.
Stephen, do you think this is really going to do much, or is this more so just like a headline that Kamala Harris is going to get to tip her cap on?
Look, I think here's my view on this. Inflation has been a problem now since the day that Joe Biden came into office. We had no inflation whatsoever. I mean, we had 1.5% inflation when Trump left office. His average inflation rate when he was in office was 1.95%. Under Biden and Harris, the average inflation rate has been about 6.5%, or 3 times higher than it was under Trump. And I want to make another point. I know Wall Street loves these lower interest rates. It's like, crack cocaine for an addict. But I want to make sure that your viewers understand that the main problem with our economy right now is not our monetary policy. It's not. The main problem, I think, as all your viewers know, because you've got a smart audience, is an out-of-control federal budget where we're spending $7 trillion a year when we used to be spending $5 trillion a year, which is still too much. And then we're running a $35 trillion national debt, and we're adding, under the Biden baseline, $2 trillion a year in debt alone. That is a prescription for economic disaster. The Fed's lowering rates does not do anything about that cancer cell in our economy. And I think everybody knows what we're doing is wrong. Kamala Harris thinks she's going to deal with this economy with a $5 trillion tax increase. That's like pouring gasoline onto a forest fire.
Stephen, you mentioned that there would be some short-term stimulus to the economy based on this, but continuing what you were just explaining, what is the negative effect that this could have, not just on the economy, but then to the American people?
Yeah, that's a great question. And so what worries me is that if the Fed starts to now pour more money into the economy, that could cause a resumption of inflation. Now, again, I don't want to be alarmist here. The inflation rate has come down a lot. We're at about 3% inflation now, when it went up to 9% at the beginning of his presidency. But I still worry about inflation. Look at the gold price, by the way. The gold price is a good indicator of where inflation is heading, and the gold price continues to go up. Why do people buy gold? They buy gold as a hedge against inflation. The best way to cut inflation, let me be loud and clear about this. The best way to cut down on inflation is to cut unnecessary government spending. If we could cut $1 trillion out of this budget, and we could probably do that on a snap, and nobody would feel any reduction in vital services, I think you'd see stable prices again. Trump has a plan, by the way. He's going to work with Elon Musk. We're going to find hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars of wasteful spending and getting rid of it. And that is the number one thing we have to do with the economy.
Stephen Moore, we appreciate the analysis. Again, so everyone knows, 50 basis point cut from the Fed coming in, announced just moments ago. Stop back soon. Stephen, good to see you.
Thank you.
Okay.